Ebonie Davis, you shared with us your perspectives on the importance of Sabbath for not only your own life, but the kids in your group. But you introduced two really provocative concepts. You talked about time bandits that are literally stealing time from our kids. And you talked about how to understand that really as stealing not just their time, but their freedom. What did you mean by that?
Right. Well, it's really interesting because as a youth pastor, I've been in, as you mentioned, about a decade. When I started, my children were young, and it used to really frustrate me when parents would come and say, my child can't come to youth group this week because they have baseball practice, because they have to work. And I would think, no, God has to come first. You need to, make sure you move those things out of the way and make room for God. He's the most important thing. Until I became a parent of teenagers. And I realized that some of those pressures can't simply be moved away, right? We want our kids to be successful, whatever that looks like for us. Sometimes that means that they have to do those 3.5 hours worth of homework a night because they're in AP classes. There are some kids in my youth group, which is very diverse, they have to work because they're helping out their family. That can't change. So in addition to some of those things that they have to do, there are things that they consider to be leisure. So the statistic from Common Sense Media is that kids are tethered to some sort of social media about 9 hours out of every day. That's a huge chunk out of their day. But if you ask them, they consider that to be leisure, right? That's why they will do it right alongside with their homework. And so we saw the research that this is leading to actual disorders. There are actual disorders associated with this. The fear of missing out, which is an anxiety disorder. The nomophobia, phobia, which is the fear of being without your cell phone, right? And so these things that they have begun to call leisure have actually began to take control over them. And those things have become the time bandit, the thief that has come to kill, to steal, and to destroy. So those things have actually begun to enslave them, and they don't realize it. And so it's important that they start to recognize what the time bandits are. If they are to pursue this life of joy, abundant rest, and abundant joy in Jesus, it's important for them to start recognizing what those time bandits are, and to see where they can work within the context of what they have to do and where they might say, you know what, Jesus is more important than this thing, and the benefit that I get from him, the freedom that I get from him that I'm actually looking for in these other things and in my leisure, that freedom only comes from Christ. And therefore, I might decide to make some different choices with my time.